So let's have a little chat, shall we? Let's have a little occult chat. This is your host, The Occult View. And as you know, I talk about a multitude of topics. I give my views on things that have to do with the occult in everyday life that is hidden from us, but you have to have a good spiritual eye in order to see what's really going on, behind the smoke, the mirrors, and all of that. So I talk about a plethora of things and topics, and I tie in spirituality and the occult with that. So, with that being said, I'm going to go a little bit over here to the left, and I want to talk about Basketball Wives reality show. And I'm going to start probably doing a little bit more examinations of some of these shows and just the mentality and the behavioral patterns that are being accepted and pushed out into the universe. I was watching a live that Silk did, from Silk and Diamond, the two sisters who supported Donald Trump, the two African American sisters who supported Donald Trump. I believe, yeah, Diamond, she was the one that passed away unfortunately. And it took me a while to really grow on them, but I did grow on them, because at the end of the day, I cannot sit here and say that black women have a right to speak their minds and then have a problem with them simply because they supported Donald Trump. Now, I don't agree with that per se. I don't mind them being conservative, but whether I disagree with them supporting Donald Trump and his ideologies, that's my own personal opinion. But they have a right to do that, and they don't have a right, and I'm sorry, and they don't deserve to be attacked because of that. But I heard her talk about Silk, the sister that's still living. She was making some really valid points about how TV today is pushing basically a lot of agendas. From her standpoint, she was talking about a lot of, let's just say, alternative lifestyle agendas that she's just not into. And me being a gay person, I kind of understood where she was coming from as a heterosexual person in some ways. And this is no shade to my fellow gay people. Sometimes you just have to listen to what a person says, you know? And I don't think she was coming from a bigoted place. She said some things that kind of made me cringe a little bit, but at the end of the day, it's her platform. She can say what she, wants to say. But as a gay person, I have to admit, she's not really telling any lies. And just like I have questions, she has questions too. And the only thing is that I wanted to point out is that not only are certain falsified agendas being pushed in her perspective, but in my perspective, when I'm talking about Basketball Wives, I'm looking at the behavioral patterns of these women on this show and how this behavior is being accepted within the universe. And it seems like every time I talk, I make the walls crack. I make the ceiling make noise. That's how powerful my voice is. But anyway, so I was looking at Basketball Wives. I've been looking at this current season since it started. And I have an issue with two of the women on the show, Clayanna and Britanny. I believe Britanny is a Pisces. I believe Clayanna is a Libra. Okay. Now it's interesting that Clayanna and Brittany are really getting along. It's interesting because normally Pisces and Libra, especially with two women, that's usually not a very good combination sometimes. Um, but I think in the case of Cleanna and Brittany, I believe that Brittany might be pulling more from her Scorpio. That is why she's able to understand Clayanna's behavior a little bit more. And this is what I'm talking about. Since these two women have been on the show, they have been involved in several physical altercations. Several. And I know what people are going to say, well, it's scripted, it's reality TV. I get that. But I look at everything as, when I watch things, I look at the behavioral patterns. I'm not looking at it for just entertainment. I'm also looking at it for spiritual purposes as well, to see what's being put out into the universe. And then when I take a step back from this and I look at how people are behaving within the real 3D world, I see remnants of these behavioral patterns in people that I interact with. People are volatile. People think that they can just pop off on you and start shit with you. People think that they can harass you, think that they can say whatever they want to say to you without any repercussions. And if you respond to them, then you're wrong. And then they want to play victim, right? People think that they can harass you, they can stalk you, they can degrade you. But when you respond to it, it's wrong. Let's really dive into what I'm talking about. Brittany, this woman named Brittany on Basketball Wives, she's new. The first incident that she got into an incident with Brooke. And she threw her drink in Brooke's face. And Brooke is a Cancer. And she's very lucky that Brooke let that go. She's also lucky that Brooke did not plot, because Cancers, when you do something to a Cancer, especially a Cancer woman, especially a Cancer black woman of a certain energy, when you do something to a Cancer woman, Cancers are prone to be very violent if they're provoked. And they will come for you and come back for you when you least expect it. They will come back for you if you provoke them. Cancers are normally chill and laid back. You know, the more stable ones. Because I have an aunt that's a Cancer, and she's crazy as a Betsy bug. But not because she's a Cancer, but because she's a crackhead. But that's another story. But then she's just a rotten, malicious person altogether. But anyway. She threw a drink in Brooke's face. She got involved in an altercation between Brooke and I believe it was another Cancer on the show, Vanessa. I believe Brooke was saying something about, or confronting Vanessa about something. And Brittany got involved in that, like Pisces are known to do. Pisces don't know how to mind their fucking business and stay in a fucking lane. And a lot of times, that is what ends up getting them fucked up spiritually. Like another aunt of mine. They do too much, especially the ones on the cusp with Aquarius. They do too much. They think they can just say whatever they want out of their mouths, and they think you're just supposed to take it, and they think that you're not supposed to respond to them. I have an aunt like that, and she learned the hard way with me a few years ago. We're okay now, but I still don't have the same relationship with her that I did years ago. Because I know how far to go with her. Because I understand the energy of Pisces. Pisces are very, very volatile people. They're very volatile people. And I do not deal with them on a regular basis. I deal with them with a very long handled spoon. Especially the February ones. So, she threw a drink in Brooke's face. This woman, Brittany. She and this other girl, Clayanna, they've been making the rounds, going around starting drama with different ladies in the group who've been there for a long time. Clayanna got into it with Jennifer, who's a Virgo. And Clayanna has been coming for Jennifer like crazy. They all come for Jennifer. You know why they come for Jennifer? I'm going to tell you why they come for Jennifer. It's the same reason why black men have come for me. I'm a Virgo too, but I'm an August Virgo. So I guess you can say I'm on the cusp with Leo. If I don't like you, I don't fucking like you. There are people that I do like that I may keep at a distance, but if I really don't rock with you and I don't like you, chances are you're going to pick up on that. Let me give you an example, because Jen does not like Clayanna. She don't care for her like that. And Jennifer is the grand poopah. Jennifer is uppity. She's kind of, bougie, like some of us Virgos are. Cancers can be uppity and bougie too, not because we think we're better. It's just that a lot of us come from a certain spiritual echelon. Jennifer comes from money. She comes from money. I think she was born into a little bit of money, if I'm not mistaken. She doesn't come from a struggle life. Neither do I. So when you're a person who exudes that type of energy, people are going to be jealous of you. Libras are very jealous, envious people, and they're energy stealers. Libras are very, very jealous people, especially the females. Okay? And I don't care who it offends. There's a dark and light side to every zodiac. Virgos, we got our shit with us too. So I'm not picking on one particular sign just to be picking on it. I'm pointing out something about Clayanna and the situation with Jennifer. No, Jennifer don't like you because she feels as though that you're ghetto and you're ratchet, which is what you are. That woman Clayanna, she has a serious problem. No matter what y'all think about Jen, I know a lot of people don't like Jennifer, whatever the case may be, but Jennifer is an OG on that show. And there's a certain amount of respect that you're supposed to have for a person who's been around a little bit longer than you. And then, so anyway, there's this guy that I don't like who's older than me. It's always these old ass fucking black men. It's always one of them. I don't like this man. Why are you, the way I speak to you should give you an indication that I don't like you. When he speaks to me, I go, and I don't even look at him. Why are you talking to me? Then he gonna tell my mother, tell your son I said hi. Why are you telling my mother to tell me hi when I've seen you sometimes, which I don't give a fuck about? I've seen you sometimes and you don't even open your mouth and speak, which I don't care anything about. I would rather he not speak to me. And the reason I don't like him is because of his lifestyle. He's a drug addict. He uses a woman who's vulnerable. She's stupid, but she's vulnerable. And he has assaulted women. I don't like this man. He assaulted a woman and got away with it. And it was an elderly woman, and he got away with it. So why are you approaching my mother, telling her who you are, and tell your son I said hi? Me and him gonna have a problem pretty soon. We're gonna have a problem pretty soon. Because I don't like him. And he got away with it. I don't like him. Leave me alone. Don't speak to me. If I don't like you, I don't like you. And he's a Gemini. He's a Gemini. Clayanna put her hands on Jennifer. She invited Jennifer to lunch. And because she picked up, see, this is usually what happens. This is usually what happens because we're dealing with people who are using air energy. Usually people who are of an air element. They try to trump or they try to outdo the earth or the water. Cancer is water and earth. And I'm only speaking in layman terms to just give people an understanding. Cancer is earth and water, Virgo is earth and water. But the air tries to dominate because they're above, or the air is elusive, so they try to dominate the earth. But you can't dominate earth. You can't dominate the earth. You can't dominate the water. You're supposed to actually be working together with the water. But air thinks it's better than earth and water. Until we force them to go into their fire mode, and then we send a damn tsunami and put that shit out. Clayanna had no right to put her hands on Jennifer. She put her hands on Jennifer because she was beginning to see that Jennifer wasn't fucking with her like that. And then she started doing what air people normally do. She started shaming Jennifer, saying, how come you don't have any children? How come you ain't married? Or whatever the case may be. How come you don't have this? How you were only married for 5 minutes? So what? What does that have to do with you and your violent, psychotic, sociopathic behavioral patterns, Clayanna? And I've been wanting to talk about this for a while, but I really don't like talking about reality shows anymore, but her behavior is really disturbing to me. She's always walking around with a chip on her shoulder. She's always angry. And I have a question. Is Clayanna a full black woman, or is she mixed with some Latin or Mexican or Puerto Rican? It doesn't matter. But she is, or Dominican, it doesn't matter. But she is very aggressive, and she is very nasty, and she's very volatile. And to me, she is a dangerous person. Clayanna is a dangerous person, and so is Brittany. But the scary thing for me is this. Brittany backs Clayanna up. But that is how Pisces are. You can show Pisces proof that something is not right. You can show them proof that this is wrong and this is wrong. You can show them all the outlines, the backstory. You can show them the nucleus of something. But because of how they operate, and because of the energy that they operate in, Pisces are supposed to be water too. Because, they say that that's the symbol of the fish. That's what they say. Now, that's what they say. But when you peel back the layers a little bit more, Pisces, especially the ones in February, they really tap more into the energy of Aquarius and Leo, which is, Aquarius is really a water energy, and we know Leo is supposed to be a fire energy, right? So Pisces kind of cancels themselves out because they're dealing with two, I guess you can say, how do I put it? They both cancel each other out because one is water and air and the other is fire. So Pisces, what they end up doing is they end up basically defeating their own purpose. Because Brittany keeps defending Clayanna's behavior when the women are telling her, and none of those women on that show are perfect. Evelyn is not perfect. Jackie is not perfect. None of them are perfect. Jennifer is not perfect. None of them are perfect. Brooke is not perfect. But Brooke just lost her daughter. And for Brittany to throw a drink in that woman's face when she is still grieving behind the loss of her daughter, it really just shows how vile and ratchet and low that she is. And one thing that I do not like about Pisces, this is another thing I don't like about Pisces, or one of the traits about them that I really do not like. They put on a good mask. People say that about Scorpio, but see, Pisces taps into their Scorpio a lot. They put on a good mask and they will pretend like, I'm the perfect person. I'm the perfect lady. I'm the perfect gentleman. I'm the perfect person. I don't do anything when they're confronted on their shit. But behind that mask is a sociopath, is a volatile person, is a violent person, a person who will do just about anything to get what they want, even if it means destroying members of their own family. Because remember, I have Pisces in my family. And I have experienced this with Pisces. I see how they try to destroy people. I've experienced it, how they try to destroy me and others. I've seen it. And the one thing about Pisces, they always overestimate their own hand and their own ability, and they underestimate the person that they're trying to destroy. They never take accountability for anything. So the reason that Brittany is accepting of Clayanna's behavior is because she and Clayanna are actually almost like the same person. And in actuality, if we want to go a step further, take the Libra out of it. Clayana is actually tapping more into her Aquarius. Because Aquarius is, while they can be nice, they can also be very volatile. They can be very nasty. And they have the darker side of themselves, which is the shadow self of Aquarius, which is the Leo. And Leos don't take accountability for shit. I live with one. And I know how they are. Now it's no beef going on right now with me and my guy. But we've had, I don't care what nobody think. I'm honest about my shit. We've had battles, me and my guy. And it is hard for him to take accountability for anything that he does. She had no right to put her hands on Jennifer, just like Brittany had no right to attack Brooke in the way that she did. Brooke had every right, that Cancer had every right to defend herself, because a lot of times people like to, they like to kind of like bully Cancers. They like to bully Cancers because they think Cancers are soft, because they're laid back and they're chill. So people like to bully Cancers. I have a little brother over in the UK who's a Cancer. And I oftentimes have to tell him, don't let that person get away with that. She had no right to throw that drink in Brooke's face. Just like Clayana had no right to she put her hands on Jen during that lunch. So at the luncheon with her and Jen, when they were, in that restaurant, Jen got up to leave. This bitch gets up and follows her. And Jen and her are going back and forth outside. And then she pushes Jennifer and says, "Get out of my face." Now, any other woman that she did that to, she would have been seriously hurt. The problem that I'm having, though, is this. She and Brittany, they keep backing up each other's bad behavior. And this is the type of stuff that gets put out into the universe or into the omniverse. And people pull on this. And we live in a culture now of Clayannas and Brittany's. Oh, I could just do what I want to do. I can say what I want to say. Well, you can do what you want to do. And you most definitely can say what you want to say. But here's the thing. When there are consequences that come from that, then you should not get mad. So now all of a sudden, Brittany is mad at Evelyn and the other ladies because she feels as though that they are basically icing out Clayana. They're icing her out because she's ghetto, she's ratchet, she's violent. She acts as if something is wrong with her. Truthfully, she acts more like a Pisces than she does a Libra. So, you know what, Libras? My apologies to y'all. She acts more like a Pisces. Maybe that's why she and Brittany get along, at least for now. And Pisces is my shadow self. So I'm talking about myself too, in a way. Because you know, the shadow self of Virgo is Pisces, and vice versa. So, Brittany, you're mad because Clayanna is being iced out. She's being iced out because she's even too volatile and psychopathic and sociopathic, allegedly, for even that group of women. Then she tried to attack Jennifer again at the strip club because Jennifer was pointing, saying something about something it was a song that was on, and she claims that Jennifer was pointing at her, which she probably was, because Jennifer is a shady ass person. Jennifer does shady ass shit. She's a Virgo. We can be shady as a motherfucker, especially when we don't fucking like you. And Jennifer does not like that girl. I thought Jennifer, see, this is the thing. If I don't like somebody, I'm not going to lunch with you. I'm going to decline that offer. But I'm an August Virgo. I'm a little bit more fiery. If I don't like somebody, I'm going to tell you up front, I don't want your friendship. I don't want to go to lunch with you. I don't want to go to lunch with you. Jennifer should have never accepted that lunch invitation because I knew then that some shit was going to go to the left. I knew it. So she tried to attack Jennifer at the strip club, the little, thing that Jackie got together for the girls to go out and have fun. They should not have invited Clayanna. They should not have invited Brittany. Brittany is two-faced. She's a Pisces. It's two fish. One fish is a goldfish. The other one is a goddamn piranha. They are nasty. They have a very nasty energy with them a lot of times. And a lot of times it's unprovoked. You don't have to do anything to them for them to flip on you. They're worse than Gemini sometimes. At least with a Gemini, I can somewhat, with me, I can somewhat, can get to them in some ways. Pisces, you can't, they're too volatile. And they are too immersed in their own delusions and illusions in their mind. Remember, I've been dealing with them motherfuckers all my life. So Evelyn, she saw that Clayanna was getting ready to attack Jennifer again. So Evelyn stepped in to defend Jennifer. And she pulled Clayanna's wig off. Clayanna don't need to be on the show. She's a nobody. And on top of that, well, I'm not going to say she's a nobody. That's kind of mean. I ain't going to say that. She's somebody to somebody, but she's really nobody to us. And then on top of that, what makes this the most tragic thing, Clayanna, from what I understand, I don't know if it's true or not, so don't quote me on this, but from what I understand, she's supposed to be a fucking attorney. And you're going around assaulting people? And you think there won't be repercussions for that? Girl, what planet do you live on? Now, Jen should not have been calling her no names up in that club when they were at the strip club. Jen should not have been pointing at her, saying whatever she was saying. I forgot what she was saying. But here's the thing, though, y'all. Here's the thing. People have said all types of crazy shit to me. People have, in my life, people have called me all types of names. People, men and women have said all types of crazy shit to me. But I could not pop off and I could not put my hand, especially not on a woman, but I can't put my hands on everybody because when you put your hands on people, that changes the vibration of the game. Because if somebody puts their hands on me, baby, let me tell you, they're not going to want to know what comes after that. Because it won't just be them that will suffer those consequences. I will handle them physically, but I'm going to handle them in another way too that will never go away. For those, you understand what I'm saying. When you put your hands on somebody, that changes the vibration. People can say whatever they want out of their mouth. People can say whatever they want. But you don't have the right to put your hands on nobody. And she put her hands on this woman. Well, she tried to do it twice. She put her hands on this woman once and then she did it again. And I think that women like that, who are abusive to other women specifically, I think that women like that, when they're on these reality shows, there should be charges brought up against them. But see, I think that they make those women sign some type of contract or clause, or there's some type of clause in their contract that says they can't press charges against them. I really think that they do for storyline purposes and for ratings. Because those types of incidents get ratings, but they're tragic. And they are disgusting, showing another woman when we're living in a world where women are being abused more and more every day. And then you have a woman on there like a Clayanna and a Britanny who are abusing other women. Not just physically, but emotionally too. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, Brooke, I don't know how you could have forgave Britanny. I would not have forgave her. The reason I would not have forgave her is because when someone throws a drink in your face, that is one of the most humiliating and one of the most degrading things you can do to someone, especially when it's unprovoked. She had no right to do that to Brooke. Then Brooke ended up throwing a drink in Clayanna's face, but that was much deserved because Clayanna got up in Brooke's face and was pointing her finger at her, and Brooke said, "Do not point in my face." That's all she said. "Please don't point in my face." And you know what Clayanna told her? "I can do what I want to do." See what I'm talking about? I can do what I want to do. I can just do what I want to do. All of you, I can do what I want to do people. All of you, y'all are going to get yourselves in a lot of suffering and turmoil. Because just like you can do what you want to do, people like me and others like me, we can do what we want to do too in a different way. Brooke asked her nicely, "Please do not point your finger in my face." She said, "Don't point in my face." She said, "Don't put your fingers in my face. I can do what I want to do. Not in somebody's space, you can't. Not in somebody's space, you cannot. Because if she pointed her finger in my face, I would not have hit her. But the things that would have came out of my mouth, she would have got her fingers out of my face. You don't do stuff like that. You don't do that. And then you have Britanny backing it up, sitting around in pretty dresses and acting like she's a valley black girl and a valley girl. No, you're not a valley girl. You're a sociopath too. You're a psychopathic person too. That is why you back up Clayanna's disgusting, ratchet, violent behavior. That is why you back it up. So my question to the world is, why are these behavioral patterns acceptable? Why is it acceptable for these two women to be volatile, to attack other women, to be violent towards other women, and why are they not canceled? Clayanna and Britanny should be canceled. Clayanna and Britanny should be canceled. Shawnee O'Neal, you need to get them off of the show. Arguing is one thing. Now, I know what people are going to say. Well, Evelyn did a lot of violent stuff on the show, too. Yeah, Evelyn did. But you know, I have grace and mercy for Evelyn. You know why I have grace and mercy for Evelyn? Because Evelyn has a good heart. And I can see that she has a good heart. Clayanna and Britanny, they do not. Evelyn forgave Jennifer for saying some of the most vile things about her daughter. And that shows me that Evelyn has grace. And I don't care what any of you all feel about Evelyn. It's not about me being a fan. It's about examination and observation spiritually. Evelyn has grace. I didn't used to, and you know what the thing is? I used to could not stand Evelyn. I couldn't stand, I didn't like her behavior on the show. I didn't like some of the things that she did. But Evelyn went through domestic violence. Britanny is going through a hard time with, I think, with one of her kids' fathers. So, you know, I kind of do have compassion for that a little bit. But Evelyn went through domestic violence. She was mocked for it. She was attacked for it. Evelyn has been through a lot. She came back to the show and she is showing grace. Her and Jen are in a good place. She came back to the show. She is showing grace and mercy. That is why I have an understanding with Evelyn, or understanding of her, because I can see that she's trying to do some work to better herself. Anytime that she can forgive Jennifer, because you all remember her and Jennifer hated each other. Now, maybe somewhere down the road, Clayanna and Britanny, maybe they'll grow on me or whatever the case may be, but their behavioral patterns are fucked up. They are violent and they are volatile. And in this day and time, that is unacceptable. If it is unacceptable for men to put their hands on women in that manner, it should be unacceptable for anybody to put their hands on anybody. Yes, especially a man putting his hands on a woman. But when you have women on that show who are acting in the same way that a violent, aggressive man acts, that is a problem. Clayanna and Britanny act like violent, aggressive men. And I have a question. Are they real women? I'm just asking a question. Are Clayanna and Britanny, are they real females? Are they real biological females? We have to ask this question. No bias, no disrespect. But we're asking this question because we live in a world where we don't know sometimes. And this is nothing derogatory against the trans community or transgender women at all. Nothing like that. But if they are on this show and they are biological and they're not biological women and they're pretending to be, that is a problem. It's not a problem with them being, transgender. That's not an issue. Nothing wrong with transgender women at all. Absolutely not. But if you are abusing biological women and you're not one, that's a problem. But I'm not getting into that rabbit hole. I'm just being, a little bit conspiracy, a little bit messy. Are they real women? Because they have a lot of masculine energy, especially Clayanna. I question, is that even a female? I question, is Clayanna a real female? Is that a woman? I question that. And why is her behavior accepting to Britanny? And why does the world accept this behavior? Clayanna and Britanny should be canceled. Shawnee, you need to get them off the show. We don't want to see them anymore. We have to take a stance for something. She had no right to put her hands on Jennifer. We all know Jennifer is not a fighter. She runs her mouth. People can run their mouth. People can say what they want to say without you putting your hands on them. Unprovoked violence is unacceptable. It's the same thing with Portia and Kenya. When Kenya and Portia got into that fight that time, everybody was talking. Everybody was talking about how Portia was right for dragging Kenya off the sofa, dragging her by her hair off of the couch because Kenya is another Aquarius. She's good with her words and her mouth, something that Portia is not good with. And Portia is a Cancer. And Portia attacked her unprovoked. She had no right to put her hands on her. And what did they do? They coddled her. They told all of the women on the show they coddled her because they didn't like Kenya. They didn't like Kenya. And then eventually, one by one, each one of them fell out with each other. I never liked Portia when she came on the show. I never liked her. And I didn't like her because she was trying to be something that she wasn't. You can't put your hands on people. You can't do that. And each one of those women, even on that show, they defended her after she attacked Kenya. They defended her. They defended her. They stood by her. And I know a lot of people don't like Kenya. I get that. Even now, I don't really care for Kenya like that no more. But at the end of the day, you don't put your hands on somebody. Like I said, I've had people say all types of crazy stuff to me that made me want to rip their heads off. But I couldn't do that. Why is this behavior being accepted in our world? I know it's a reality show. I know it's scripted, but art imitates life and life imitates art sometimes. Why is this being accepted? Anyway, that's all I have to say. That's my little review on Basketball Wives. Um, I might come back through with one for well, there's nothing really going on in the Real Housewives of Potomac that I really want to talk about. Um, I see that new girl who's also a Nigerian. She's giving it to Wendy. And let me say this. I might come back with another video to talk about that because I do want to talk about the issue between Wendy and that other Nigerian woman, Neka, I believe that's her name, Neka. I can't think of her last name, but Neka. Um, and Wendy, there's some issues going on there between them. You know, I might come back through and do another video on that. But why are these behaviors accepted? They should not be. They should not be accepted. You know, and this is also part of an agenda as well to, I want to say, to create and facilitate bullying, harassment, even stalking, and violence. There should be repercussions when you put your hands on somebody, whether it be on reality TV or anywhere else, especially if it's unprovoked. Especially, somebody can say anything they want to you, but you can't put your hands on people unless they are directly threatening you, your property, or something like that. But the fact that Brittany takes up for this woman, I just can't get with that. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Thank you.